I'm Sandy Schroeck, and today we're going to be taking a look at creating a hand-tied garden style spiral bouquet. So we're going to look at the process. You can see that it can be created on a smaller scale or a larger scale. We're seeing some of those brides want those larger bouquets, and so we're going to go through the instructions of the smaller bouquet, and then you'll be able to see me making the larger bouquet as well at the end of the video. So stay tuned and you'll be able to learn how to create these fabulous florals. So now we're ready to make the bouquet. You can see that I have prepared my stems by removing the foliage that's going to go below the bind point. The bind point, we're actually going to think of like a C on our hand. We're going to come together and press the index finger and the thumb together, leaving those to be able to kind of capture the bouquet as you're turning it, but not hold it real tight. Another thing that I did was actually spin the roses a little bit when they're room temperature out for a couple days. You are able to get them to open up a little bit more, give you a little bit more of that garden presence. So today we're going to start off with the Huckleberry to create our bouquet structure. I'm going to come in, lay that hand into the bind point, come in, bringing your foliage in horizontally. All of our materials are going to lay in horizontally and tip in, and then I keep doing a half turn with my structure, and that's how you get the spiral stem placement on that. I have a few accent greens that I do want to place into the center of this bouquet as well, and some foliages. So I'm just going to come in with some of those materials right now. We have willow euc, waxflower, and some of the Grevillea foliage. This garden style hand tieds right now are about really kind of a mix of product. So I have each of my products laid in a grouping, and what I'm going to do is create like 1/3 of the bouquet at a time. So I'll come in with the floral elements going down your table, laying in horizontally and tipping up into the bouquet. See, I'm grabbing one of each of these elements and laying them in. I'm not going to worry a whole lot about the height adjustments and stuff at this time. I'll be able to make some of those final adjustments when I finish off the bouquet. So now we're ready to come back and start at the other end again. So I came in, I gave the bouquet a quarter turn, and then you come back down your line of elements, and that'll give you a mix of that product throughout the bouquet. Just taking a look at those spiral stems. If all of a sudden you see an X, you can see here, look down at your stems frequently, and if you see an X, then you realize that that stem is out of the spiral stem placement pattern. So we're just going to do a little bit of a turn and then come in, feed that Cremon in a little bit so it's in more of a protected area, and then come back down our line of floral elements again. So I have one of each of them left there, And so now I'm going to start taking a look at the bouquet from the top. You can cut it off just a little bit so I can tip it into the camera for you guys. So if we take a look, now you can see rose, 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 and you've got the delphinium. So I'm going to bring this one. Now take a look and turn it to where I want to place it. I'm going to come over here, and so that's balanced with that. And one more half turn, and I'm going to bring those little side shoot buds over there and bring in some of the lavender over in that area. And so sometimes when you look and you feel like you need something in the middle, so I did this a little bit purposeful. I wanted to show you that you can come back in and just loosen up your bind point a little bit. And if you feel like you all of a sudden need to add, like there, a rose in the center, we should have had that in as a little bit more of our focal, but I left it out on purpose to be able to teach you the lesson that you can twist in some of those stems additionally as you're closer to the end. So we have a mix of products and textures using the Hypericum, or kind of the pearls of floral elements. And so now I'm getting close to the end where I've kind of got some of my finishing materials. But at this point is when I'm going to just loosen up that bind point a little bit, and I can make adjustments on heights of these materials so that I'm not doing it looking at that bouquet with every insertion. It's going to take me a lot longer to make it. I've got a well-balanced variety of materials, and just come off back, running down this line of each of the components. Come back in, half turn, quarter turn. And I've got a little bit of the bottoms of the stems of the lavender. So I'm going to add those in to add a little bit more interest down in the coloring area. And that's what we're doing right now, is kind of finishing off that edge of the bouquet. Down. Laying in these materials. Lots of times I'll see students of mine that will have a spiral bouquet all the way through all their flowers, and then once they add their foliages, they totally forget about laying the foliages and last materials in that spiral pattern. So you want to think about it all the way to the end. If your hand does get tired, the spiral, you are able to actually lay it down and pick it back up. To tie this off, I'm actually going to use Bindwire. So I've taken a piece of Bindwire and then I folded over a couple times, and so that'll be able to make a nice clean bind. And then I've got some double face satin that'll be able to do a nice finish for the bride to hold on to. So we can pick that back up, and you can see that it's all those floral materials stay in that spiral pattern. So if your hand gets sore or you have to answer the phone or help a customer, you're able to do that. So on here, I'm coming in with that, and I'm just going to twist this. I have both of those ends facing opposite directions, and that'll get me a tight tie in there. A couple twists, cut off that end, and then I twist that sharp end back into the bouquet. And then we're going to come with the satin ribbon and just simply, because it's a double face satin, I can just do like a crisscross pattern on here. Come back and tie a square knot. So it's a nice, clean, simple finish and comfortable for your bride to carry. So these are our hand-tied garden style spiral bouquets. I hope you were able to learn from these techniques so that you can create these fabulous bouquets for your brides. It's really a way to open up those designs a little bit more and capture that beautiful mix of those garden florals and textures that will create that new open look. If you have any questions, make sure to put them down in the comments. Give us a like and make sure that you subscribe to our channel. I'm Sandy Schroeck for LBR Educates, and this has been our Spiral Hand-Tied Garden Bouquets.